Hello and good morning. Today is Monday, the 29th January 2024.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, and today we have a special day. More on that in a moment. As announced, Joe and his men will be there again today and on this special day in a special way. And it's also magically built again. Speaking of which, how is our frog?
Snow falls softly at night.
Well counted. 1 year ago today, on 29th January 2023, the first video was shot and this my project started. Let's take a quick look at video number 1. Die Pyramiden von Gizeh, die große Mauer von China, der Berliner Flughafen. Ab heute kommt noch ein weiteres Großbauprojekt der Geschichte dazu, nämlich der Bau der Lego Titanic. Ja, wie man sieht, nicht gerade wenig. Darin sind dann 9090 Lego-Steine, die am Schluss, wenn alles soweit geklappt hat, hier die Titanic. Das ist dann noch die weitere kleine Herausforderung, also die Titanic in ihrer gesamten Länge von unten nach oben bauen. Parallel dann, immer wenn es notwendig ist, das Beleuchtungskit von Game of Bricks mit einbauen und am Ende das Ganze noch zu kombinieren mit den Dampfmodulen aus dem Beleuchtungskit von Brixy. Okay, jetzt wird es gleich laut. Wir starten. Der erste Schritt ist getan. Der Grundstein, wenn man so möchte, ist gelegt. Ja, und wir sind auch fertig.
It looked very different back then.
Yes, you are right, Brixy. It all looked a little different. Above all, the studio, the shipyard, was on the other side of the room. Besides, as you can see, I was still all alone at that time. No Brixy, no Yellowstone, and no Joe and his man.
That must have been boring. And you had to count yourself.
Yes, with pad and pencil. And boring, yes, not so much happened.
It's much easier and more entertaining for you with us now.
Well, if you can put it that way. Definitely a lot has happened in the last 12 months in many ways. At that time I had absolutely no idea about video or audio editing, some image editing, but that's about it. I had to learn all that first. And when I think of the first videos, oh dear. But today it all works quite well, even if not perfectly. Quiet on the cheap seats. The videos became more and more elaborate over time. For all those who have some idea about it, here is the timeline of the first video. And here in comparison to the current video.
Oi.
Well, that's a difference.
The timelines of all videos now look like the current video. For all those who don't know what to do with the term timeline, the timeline shows all the elements that make up a video in the video editing program. The individual video sequences, audio files, images and more.
How much work goes into a video like this?
I can only appreciate that, but I can say that in a 30-minute video there are about 50 to 80 hours of work.
Oof,
It
So
depends.
much? That's insane.
Yes, but it's also fun. Well, some things are annoying, especially when things go wrong, and things often go wrong, even when creating this video.
What happened?
For example, creating the 300 or so frames for the stop motion scene with Joe and his men, which we will see later, went wrong the first time. So I had to do it all over again. A total of about 16 hours of work for a scene of about 70 seconds duration.
What?
Crazy. Just crazy.
Yes,
So
you could say. Okay, back to the topic. However, the construction of our Titanic will not take as long as the construction projects mentioned in video 1. In the past few months, this has progressed steadily, as you can see, and we are slowly approaching the end. You can find out what happened until then at the end of this video. But first, what's going to happen today? In the middle section, with the bags 19 and 26. And those are the only bags. And there are also some lighting elements installed, primarily from Brixy. Before that, however, the first preparations are made for the steam modules in the chimneys. In the central section, 2 platforms are placed on which the control units of the steam modules for the chimneys 2 and 3 are mounted. And that's where we start. At each of these 2 places I place a platform on which the control units of the steam modules for chimney 2 and 3 will soon be mounted, as well as other expansion boards. Here I use this large plate from the bags 19 as it will be replaced later by 3 other plates and therefore not needed. On this side I first have to remove various stones. At this point I mount this plate from my own stock. To do this I need a substructure which I connect here to the center console. To do this I first have to remove more stones. This plate is now offset to the right. To attach them on the right side I use these 2 6 plates from my own stock and this black 8 stone from the bags number 19, which will not be needed later. To fill the gap on the left I used the following 2 plates from my own stock. In order to stabilize the platform, more stones are added to connect it to the struts above. 1 4-piece brick from our own stock, 2 of these black plates the former portholes in the fuselage, as well as another black 8-piece brick from Bags 19, which will also not be needed later, as well as another one of those black 2 blades. Finally, the removed stones are rebuilt. Next time the same will be done in the bow and also in the stern. This will be made up. With that, we go directly to the actual construction for today with bags number 26. You are ready?
Yes.
Oh yes, and again the hint, hands off. Quack! This is where the big blade would actually come in, which I use as a platform below. Here, however, a separate construction is added as preparation for the subsequent installation of the headlight in the compass. First of all, I need 2 additional supports consisting of stones from my own supply. Now, instead of the large blade, the following 3 blades from my own stock are installed at this point. According to the instruction from Brixy, a 28 LED strip would work here. But that's too long for me, so I use a 21 LED strip. The LED strip would actually be glued to the bottom of the foot, but I don't do that either. Instead, I put it back up here on the struts to fix it with the blades above. At this point, you should again be careful that it is not the LEDs, but the spaces between the struts that come to rest. Here the connecting wire is routed inside and later connected to an expansion board. The same thing happens on the other side. Here below the compass, Brixy has provided lighting with the last of the 3 headlights. The connecting wire would then actually be wedged underneath this tile that would follow later and lead into the interior here on the left. However, I don't like this. To change this, I first remove this 8 tile and replace it with a 6 tile from my own stock. Then I feed the connector of the LED through this hole of the perforated plate into the interior. Here I add a 1 tile from my own stock, and so that the wire is not pinched, a semicircular 1 tile also from my own stock. This is not noticeable because the stairs are located above it. The LED is positioned between the struts and the platform above it is rebuilt. Those were bags number 26, and we had, as Brixy shows us, 238 stones. And with that, overall
7,331.
2 single stones are left. And this time without any animal incidents.
Ha ha ha. It's getting boring.
Not really.
Okay, you are right. That's enough now. At this point, I would like to say a few words on my own behalf. I shot the last video twice, once in German and once in English. And I did the same for this one. That's another additional effort. The question is, do you out there even want that? There's been a poll about it in my channel community for a week now. I would be delighted if you would take the time to vote on it. Thank you for that. I would also be very happy to receive 1 or 2 comments that are positive or negative.
Please, only positive.
Would be nice, of course. Or maybe just a thumbs up. Thank you both. So that's it on my own behalf. Oh yes, and of course don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and recommend to others. Thank you. So let's move on bag number 19. We are about to start with the installation of the LED strips on both sides before Joe and his men arrive. Today in a new environment, both physically and visually.
That's better.
Yes.
Oh yes? Well, then... And here we go. At this point, according to the instructions, a 28 LED strip is also provided, which I also use, because together with the 21 strip to the left of it, it perfectly covers the middle part along its length. Again, this would actually be glued to the bottom of the foot, which I again don't want, so I thought of something else instead. I have already prepared this, and on the other side I have already done it completely. I have fixed the LED strip to the bottom here with 4 of these white 1 blades. You have to be careful that the space between them comes to rest on a LED, otherwise there's a risk of damage. It also makes sense that these stones are placed at the height of a strut so that they are not seen from the outside. Here you should not go too far to the right with these stones, as the strip is further forward due to the existing stones and could be bent and damaged. At this point, such a grey 8 tile was installed on each side. These had to be removed for this purpose. What practical use these had was not clear to me. The connecting wire is led into the interior here at the back. I will show you this in a moment. I first run the connecting wires of both LED strips through the window. Behind it is actually this black arch stone. However, if you put it back in its position, the connecting wires are pinched. I don't want that. Therefore, I replace this bow with a 4-hole stone from my own stock and pass the wires through the right hole. Finally, the removed stones are rebuilt again. To connect the wires of the 4 LED strips to the rest, they are connected to an 8 expansion board. Furthermore, the headlight for illuminating the compass is connected to it. The board itself is connected to the cable box underneath via a 20 cm wire. I had forgotten the connecting wire when I was building the cable box. I made up for this. There was exactly 1 slot left on the 12 board in the cable box. Furthermore, a 20 cm wire goes to the front and to the back, on each of which hangs a 4 expansion board in order to be able to connect further lighting elements to it. In addition, I have installed a white 2-hole brick and 2 more of these black plates in the middle. There's another 4 board to which the control units of the 2 steam modules of chimneys 2 and 3 are connected. A 30 cm wire goes down from this board to connect the control units to the power and remote control. Finally, all removed stones are returned to their place. I now swap these previously installed on supports at this point in order to lead the wire of the headlight through the gap to the back. And now the time has come, I hand over to Joe and his man. Good entertainment while watching. each of these two places there would be a black 8 stone. However, I replace each of these with a 4-hole brick. According to the instructions, this 28 LED strip would be folded and placed behind this row of windows. And for this window, which is still under construction, and for the two windows here, there is a bit light LED provided. I don't need these bit lights, and the folded LED strip would be much too bright here. Instead, I'm going to run the LED strip through the holes of the perforated bricks over here to the other side and back in. With it, I can illuminate all the windows. In order to shield the light off the LED strip to the front, I add two bricks from my own stock, and on the top of each a green 1 tile from the stones that were left over from the Titanic so far. I pass the wire through the bottom to the back. In these places there would be 2 more of these black 8 stones, but I will replace them with others. I have already used 2 of these black 8 bricks below for the mounting of the platform. Behind the windows would come these 2 black 4 stones and a grey palisade stone, but I also replaced them with my own stones. To prevent the light from the LED strip from shining upwards, I shield it as follows, and this with the help of such black plates with a guide rail. First of all, I use a black 8 and 2 plate. On top of this comes a black 8 and 2 plate, each with a guide rail. Here I first place such a black 8 plate, and on top of that 2 of these plates with a guide rail and behind them a 4 plate. Finally another such 8 plate, and to the left of it again a 2 and this other 8 plate. The same on the other side with these 2 windows. The lead wire is passed underneath these struts and connected to the floorboard. That's the end of Bags 19. A big thank you again to Joe and his man, and I hope the beer tasted good.
Well, if I looked at the group like that, definitely.
The scenery looked really great.
This backdrop is the surprise I announced after the summer break. Let's take another look. Wir haben viel vor in den nächsten Wochen und da sind teilweise noch aufwendigere Dinge mit dabei, als wir sie bisher schon hatten.
Ja, ich habe schon den Tisch hinter dir gesehen. Das sieht mega toll aus. Da bin ich sehr gespannt.
Ja, das kannst du auch. Aber das ist noch eine große Überraschung. Was es genau damit auf sich hat, das erfahrt ihr und auch du erst demnächst.
Das ist wieder gemein. Yes, that's right. I had totally forgotten.
Okay, now let's move on to our table. Wait a minute. Remember, Brixy?
Yes. The new table is fancier.
Exactly. And here it is. We had 238 stones in the bags 26 and now in the bags 19.
Very funny.
Overall we are at
No, I don't fall for that.
7,535 as we see. One stone was too many. So now, as always at the end, the test of the built-in lighting elements. The lighting of the two upper aisles on the port side as well as the two large lattice windows is nice to see. Upstairs the large hatch window. On the starboard side also the two upper aisles and the large row of windows. Furthermore, the illumination of the platform of the compass in the center.
What's the point? Why the umbrella in the film?
Who knows what will come from above again?
No, don't worry. There's nothing coming from above this time.
Absolutely, that's a promise.
Okay, well... Okay. So we comes to the end for today, and what will happen next time? Only 5 more videos to go, then it's done and the project ends. You will find out more details next time, when it goes into the bow with bags number 10 and back to the middle section with bags 20. And more lighting elements are being installed. And now, once again at the end.
Stay tuned, because there's still something to see after the credits.
Nice that you are still here. Now we have Joe and his men again, in color and with sound. And finally the wonderful scene with the cake, also in color. Have fun. Bye.
Let's get started, men.
Ouch. Hey, watch out.
Sorry.
Jim, stop the nonsense.
That was just Jim's intention. Do you think so?
I come up, man.
Does not need to be.
What did you just say?
Nothing.
These two stones are wrong.
Who put them down? Hey boss, the part you placed is also incorrectly positioned.
Well,
I will correct it. Something is wrong here.
Yes, the part has to go on the other side.
Are you sure that's right, boss?
Yes. Hey Jay, get on the crane and lower the box.
Me? Sure? Alright.
Will that go well?
What the right person says.
Lower slowly. Slowly, I say. Ouch! What did I say?
Oops, sorry, boss. Not me this time. Something happened, boss?
No, I'm sitting here waiting for the bus. On the crane, Jim, and down with the box.
Ouch! Damn! Not again!
Sorry, I'm missing 2 fingers.
Hey, Joe! There's something for you at bottom next to the crane.
Thanks a lot.
I am curious what.
Jim, let me down in the box. Cheers, man, to the big boss.
To the big boss.
To the big boss.
Cheers.
Wait a minute. What was there in the old silent films as a typical slapstick gag? Oh, yes!
Uh-oh.
It didn't come from above.